I did have a question. My question was a little bit more towards so I'm back here. I don't know how many people were on the call a few weeks ago. I'm back here at the Four Seasons here in Hawaii, and I'm doing another follow-up golf round with the head pro here to talk about this golf mindset program that's coming up. So a little bit about me. I teach microdosing practices to high performing individuals, specifically more like the older, more reserved people, kind of like think your 50-year-old millionaire types that have succeeded in the business world, but are kind of hollow in their meaning, their creative endeavors, and helping them find more meaning in their life, healing anxiety and depression, things of that nature. So that's kind of bled into this new kind of golf mindset work, which is a great way to get involved into the space, because a lot of these people, they may immediately their hairs stand up and they kind of shut down when they hear, oh, psychedelics, like that's an illegal drug. However, they do know that their alcohol addiction, their SSRIs, these things are they're struggling with these. And I'm sorry if it's loud on my end.
It's
Let
not
me
loud at
know.
all. You're fine.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, so I've been invited to this new opportunity, this golf mindset thing, to work with golf pros out for high class members to help them with their mindset work. However, it does feel like a slight deviation from what I've been doing specifically with this very curated branding, because the golf mindset stuff will not have anything to do with psychedelics in the upfront, right? It's more about establishing relationships, creating good rapport, developing trust, and then people are like, "Oh, you do this too." I'm fascinated by that. So it's a new avenue, and I'm about to start actually go and shoot content today. Since I'm here, I'm like I might as well just take advantage of this gorgeous place I'm in and just do some of these like kind of golf mindset videos. So my question is more around like straddling that line between staying in my lane and picking my core niche, while also this amazing opportunity. Especially now that I'm filming a lot of content, and I'm like, okay, and like am I going to throw a lot of people off by they're like, I thought this guy was about microdosing and now he's in a collared shirt, like talking about putting? Like, what the hell is this all about? Right. So just kind of staying on brand with this new opportunity, now that we're shooting today.
Yeah. So you want me to just like creative 2 cents maybe, or what would be most
Sure.
useful?
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So here's what I would do. So this is, my own creative juices on it, and how I'd approach it. What comes to mind first off, like from being in the cannabis industry for a decade, what people like around all these things, Seth, like really forget, right? Is that like the main market is like everyone else outside of the current consumer, right? Like that is the biggest market is people that are like curious about it or like have maybe done it once or have a daughter or a friend that's done it and they're like curious to do it, but they're not sure how kind of thing. You know what I mean? So the fact that you're more like buttoned up or like you're integrating it into like you're doing this golf thing or whatever, it's like it's kind of interesting, right? It's like a little bit more mainstream than like the first like, there's like another person that runs a psychedelic retreat and does a da 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 and like had this mind-blowing ayahuasca experience in Iquitos, Peru. Like there's like that's like I'm being ridiculous, but you get it, right? Like there's like that traditional story, and then
My
it's kind of
whole
interesting
world.
to
Yeah.
it's interesting to be like, I'm just kind of everyone's this way. I'm the guy in the golf shirt, right? Um, a couple of things creatively that come to mind. You can work it as you will. It's like, there's like sometimes I like defer to like books, right? Or of like how have different books been branded in different kind of ways that are like crossovers, right? And there's things like Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, right? Or the book The Inner Game of Tennis, right? Where like in the first, like it's combining like Zen meditation practice and using it in relation to like a motorcycle and like maintaining a motorcycle and like kind of it's been about like 8 years since I've read the book, but that's the vibe. Then there's another book like The Inner Game of Tennis, which is like a mindset book, but in the context of tennis, but it pertains to like all leadership, right? And I feel like there's probably some crossover there if you wanted to, um, with like the two of them. You know what I mean? Like there's golf and mindset and the approach there, but you know, the the metaphor of like missing a putt that was like a gimme. Like how often do we have that just in many areas of our life? We had the opportunity to be like grateful for someone and express it, but we didn't. We had the opportunity to acknowledge something that someone had done great work and we didn't. Like those are the kind of putts, that we should have made, but we didn't. Right. And so there's maybe a way of like having them play with each other that way and using some of like the things you're seeing in the golf, sphere but relating that to like the general life sphere and maybe how psychedelics as a tool can help you unlock certain things. I'm butchering it a little bit, but I think you get the general vibe of maybe what I'm saying.
No, I really value your support and creative input on that because of your history with herb. Because I'm going to the MAPS conference in Denver at the end of the month, and I'm just like, it's just there's just so many beads and full brim hats there, and I'm like, sometimes I feel like I am so out of place because I present myself in this way, but I'm starting to embrace that uh, that's a niche. That's actually
Exactly.
a real big
Exactly.
competitive edge
I think it's
to be
cool,
able to
man.
teach that.
I think as an outsider, honestly, I think it's like it's good, it's cool, it's like it's just different, right? And half the time that's um the biggest thing that people struggle with is their positioning or their niching, right? Like they're just the same as everything else that exists, right? So, there's oftentimes that quote like don't try to be better, try to be different, right? And I think that
Yeah.
you are being like really different with it and it's just like higher end, more like golf mindset, older type people that, are living it's like great. Like you're just carving out your own little area where it's like you're alone in that area, right? Which is awesome versus like the same old thing that everyone does. So I think you're in a good spot. And I would just kind of creatively like play with how these things can all intersect. But I think if someone came to me and was like, oh, I work with high end, I work with NBA basketball players and I help them tap into different mindsets with also the aid and the off season of microdosing. It's like, damn, like that's badass and like so nichey and so random. It's like that guy's just gonna carve his own lane there. Like Tim Grover or something, but for basketball or just high performance people. And same thing with your thing, right? It's like these are people that obviously take their golf game really serious and they're like, yeah. And I think there's an interesting intersection there between that and the psychedelic world versus just what everyone else is doing. And it should feel a little lonely, a little weird. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think Tim Ferriss said, "Don't try to be the best, try to be the only." About creating your own niche, which I always think about. How do you niche down and create your own specific? Creating a word. I think he had created lifestyle design back with the 4 Hour Work Week, and I know that you've done the same with a lot of your branding as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
of course.